Round 12 of the 2015 FF1M Championship, and we go from Germany to Hungary for the Hungaroring, and I'm being joined by Tobias.
Hello once again.
And you had a bit of a lucky escape last time out at Hockenheim, because what could have been Vettel's 6th win of the season turned out to be an engine failure, and it turned out Alonso extended his championship lead at the front.
Yes, very much. It was a lucky escape last time out. Vettel was untouchable, regardless of the strategy. I do feel like, at the same time, it was kind of a missed opportunity for Alonso, because although we didn't see it on camera, we just were told that Rosberg cut in front of him and spun him, and Alonso was on a one-stop, Rosberg was on a two-stop. I feel like even though Rosberg was quicker at that part of the race, Alonso could have held on at the end, although it might have got close. But do you know what? For the sake of the championship, I'll take that result, considering how dire it was in the first half.
And there's a look at the Hungaroring map, and it's the pre-2003 layout, so a shorter run into the first corner and a much more interesting turn 11. I'm dreading turn 10. There's I don't know what it is about Grand Prix 3 and Grand Prix 4, but there's loads of crashes at that corner. Yeah, it's a particularly hot corner. Even in the old GP3 days, loads and loads of drivers went off there. There's a few milestones for this race, but we'll get into those later, because it's time for the grid, and it's an all-German front row with Sebastian Vettel on pole position ahead of Nico Rosberg, the German Grand Prix winner. Fernando Alonso is third, and Carlos Sainz, highest of the non-soft tyre runners, is fourth on the grid. Thomas Gonzalez is fifth, ahead of Stoffel Vandoorne sixth, who scored his second podium of the season last time out at Hockenheim. Then Kevin Magnussen and Lewis Hamilton join each other on row 4. I must admit I wasn't expecting to do that well in qualifying, so I'm chuffed with that. And then All Meister row 5. Unusual this time around, because they were pole position last few times, but they are on the hards, so that could explain some of that. Nico Hülkenberg will be starting 11th ahead of Jenson Button 12th. That's a much better qualifying for himself in recent days. And it's an all-Pedersen row 7 with Sergio Perez and Romain Grosjean. Those two have a particular milestone along with Nico Hülkenberg. Then it's Valtteri Bottas 15th, and my driver of the race last time out, Charlotte Plectrum, in 16th.
Gets me every time, that.
Jean-Eric Vergne will start 17th ahead of Cooper Lee in 18th, and then we've got Robert Kubica 19th ahead of Daniel Ricciardo in 20th, first of the Andrews, because Antonio Felix da Costa is 21st, and Shake and Bake, one at the front, one at the back, with Itsuki Yoshida last.
Unfortunately, the wrong way round.
And the gap between Yoshida and da Costa was half a second, so he wasn't even slightly close to not being last.
That's interesting.
So here we go, 5 lights go out very quickly, and Sebastian Vettel moves into the lead. Rosberg's on the outside. Sainz is already up into 3rd position and is having a look at Nico Rosberg. And look at Magnussen flying up the inside, up to 3rd position from the start. What a tremendous start from Kevin Magnussen. And further back, Alonso down to 6th behind Thomas Gonzalez.
Yeah, I can't say the same for my guys. Once again, yeah, not a great start.
And looking further back, both Pedersens have had a great start. Sergio Perez is up to 8th with Romain Grosjean up to 9th, so it'd be nice to see a replay of those two as well.
Yeah, this race, I going into it, I know it was going to be a lot about the start, and already, it's not gone well for my guys already.
Not at the moment, with Gonzalez 5th and Alonso 6th, Vandoorne 7th, Perez up to 8th. And who else has moved? Reichmann's had a poor start, he's down to 14th. Massa also not great, down a position. And I think that's pretty much it, but it's Vettel from Rosberg from Magnussen.
With this older Hungaroring layout, shorter straight, that's going to mean it's going to be harder to see an on-track overtake. I don't feel particularly confident myself because I've gone for the base setting. So I won't have the extra power to get down past the straights.
Lock up for Jenson Button further back, who got overtaken by Nico Hülkenberg going into the first corner. Both customers. And here's Vettel coming through turn 10. That is wide.
He's going to go off.
Very wide.
He might get away with it, yeah. He's just about got away with that. But, already a scary moment for Sebastian.
So he's pushing hard right from the off, and there's Jenson Button losing another position to Kimi Räikkönen, recovering from his poor start. And yeah, you mentioned base settings. I'm running base setting as well. I'd be surprised if anyone is actually running mode 2 of the manufacturers, because the straights are so short that there's no real benefit.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's why I'm using the base setting. There's not really... I just feel like the risk outweighs the reward in terms of getting more pace. And that's Van Dorn going off into the gravel. He's going to spin. He's going to need to do a 180. He landed on the grass and there's an excellent off. There's a wheel off. That's I think it must be Hamilton because he was ahead. No,
it's Jenson. Button. Wow, so Jenson Button's terrible season goes even worse. Wow.
With that he remains remains in the pointless championship. The only pointless contender.
And he still remains as well. So it was Jean-Eric Vergne who hit the errant Jenson Button, and we just saw Van Dorn kicking the tyre out of the way with his own left front.
Yeah, already a bad race for the recently retained Belgian at Willows.
And a bad race for Button for Exolite's 300th race. There's the first of the milestones.
Not the greatest way to reach that milestone, has to be said.
Nope, and...
This is Grosjean. He's going to go wide, is he? Yeah. And is he going to spin? Yeah, he's going to spin and just grazes the wall, but doesn't look like he's got any damage, although he is facing the wrong way.
So the real damage to Grosjean's race is lots of positions lost. And here's Vettel coming through at that tricky turn 10.
He's going to go off again, is he? Yeah, he's going to go off in a bigger way this time, but somehow he not only does he keep it going, but his car survives the impact of the wall. And once again, Nico Rosberg cannot get past.
So he's pushing it, is Vettel, a bit, and we've seen twice in 5 laps going off the track at turn 10. Who on board with that is Ricardo versus Cooper Lee into the first corner. And just on Grosjean, it was Pedersen's 500th race last time out at Hockenheim. So their 501st has not gone well for Grosjean.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be going well. It doesn't seem to be going well for the drivers or teams with.
Vettel off again.
Vettel's going to go off again 3 times now in 7 laps. Is he? Surely he's going to lose lead this time, and he spun round this time. Yeah, he's definitely going to lose the lead, and he's going to end up well down.
So, third mistake in 7 laps at this one has done by far the most damage.
Very, very ragged race from Sebastian, this.
And is Kubica going to do something ragged behind?
He's locked his brakes, he's going to go off, he's going to hit the wall. No, he isn't. He survives. I think he survived, but he's at the back.
So the track, it seems, very, very slippery, and it usually is at Hungaroring. It was known as the Dust Bowl for quite a while. And there's some other milestones. There's 3 drivers taking part in their 100th race in this particular race, and they are Nico Hülkenberg, Romain Grosjean and Sergio Perez.
Chances are they might also join on the sidelines.
They might do. It is very slippery, but Perez is up in 6th, so he's having a pretty good 100th race so far, and Hülkenberg up to 8th. So Grosjean, it seems, is having the miserable milestone at the moment, as we look at Gonzalez, who is looking to try and take Sainz for 3rd position. Here's Nico Rosberg. Into the first corner, no such problems for the Willows driver. He's built up a 1.8 second lead over Kevin Magnussen, who himself is 1.1 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz. It's actually very close between the top lot at the moment, just 5.2 seconds covering the top 8.
Well, You may think I'm biased when I say this, but with Vettel spinning off and being at the back, it's certainly made the battle for the lead a bit more interesting, because I think if he was able to keep it, on the black stuff, he would be pulling away, but obviously he's been pushing too hard.
And we're seeing a spirited battle between Cooper Lee and Roman Grosjean. They were side by side for most of the first couple of corners. And here's the other Pedersen, Sergio Perez, that is Felipe Massa behind. And his engine's gone.
Oh, engine.
So, an Ilmore.
He took the words right out of my mouth there, and he's holding up a long queue of cars here.
Yeah, and Hülkenberg that cost Hülkenberg a lot of time.
Sainz is pitting. Sainz is pitting now. Is that scheduled, or is that a problem?
We'll find out shortly. He's still got 6 laps of fuel in his tank, so if he turns round, we might get an onboard of his steering wheel. It may well just be scheduled. It could just be scheduled.
Please keep it clean. I always get my heart rate doubles every time I see my guys line astern.
They are running 3rd and 4th at the moment, Gonzalez and Alonso, thanks to a few pit stops happening, most notably Carlos Sainz. I think it was scheduled, but just quite early.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where Sainz rejoins. Is he going to be in clear air? It looks like it, and being on the fresher tyres, although the tornadoes did look quicker, so I don't know, maybe the overcut could be effective.
Maybe.
And Vettel's alongside, is that Hülkenberg or Lee? It's one of the Mitchells.
I think it's Cooper Lee. 18th
I think
position.
he's just got past.
Yeah, it's Cooper Lee.
Yeah.
And Carlos Sainz took about 21 laps of fuel, so that should take him to about lap 36, 37.
Interesting to note that, Alonso at least is on another 13 laps of fuel. So going to have to be the overcut here to get ahead of Sainz. And speaking of Sainz, this is his teammate Bottas, who had a poor qualifying. Where's he going to rejoin? Just into the path of Sebastian, actually.
17th at the moment.
Which just goes to show how far back Sebastian is, how much time he's lost. The fact that Bottas pitted and rejoined ahead. Oh, there's going to be a kerfuffle here.
There's a big kerfuffle between Raikkonen and...
What is Raikkonen doing there?
I think he was trying to let the Andrew through, but he didn't realise that Andrew's pit box was right in front of him, so that was a bit of a confusion.
Just pushed him into his own pit crew there. And here's Sainz getting past Yoshida.
Yeah, Yoshida briefly got himself back up to 8th position, even starting from last, so not too bad, as an FJR is about to make a pit stop. That's Magnussen.
In fact, I'm going to go out and say I think the undercut is probably more powerful already. Oh, the 2 tornadoes are close. Oh, one of them's going in. That would explain that. Which one's going in?
It looks like Gonzalez.
Might be I think it's Gonzalez. Yeah, it's Gonzalez. Alonso's gone ahead.
Whose pit box is first?
I believe it's yours, because you finished ahead in the championship last year. So
I did. Yes. 4.9 seconds, fast stop.
Try saying the same thing this time next season.
Probably won't happen, but oh well. That's Carlos Sainz making his way past Daniel Ricciardo.
He's done the undercut on Magnussen.
Yes, he has. That was a very good early stop from Sainz. Now, he could actually jump into the lead if he gets another quick lap in. We'll have to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah. Depends if he can get through this traffic here swimmingly.
Massa and Hamilton.
Yeah, he's got quite a gap, isn't he? Yeah, I'd say Sainz is in prime position at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking good for him. I did wonder whether Sainz would be having a good race, because he has got that Mugen engine, which is a very powerful race engine. So this could be a good one for Sainz if it all goes well. I'm going to touch wood for GRM. I'm also going to touch wood for you.
GRM have been very competitive this season. I think they have the better aero package than their Mugen counterparts, Gajira. Certainly not qualified as bad, and also maintaining strong race pace, and we're on board with Massa here. He's going to rejoin in 11th ahead of Charlotte Plectrum, I believe.
Lovely.
And Vettel is in.
Vettel in from where on earth was he? Quite a way down the order, and he'll be even further back there.
I think he was as low as 13th or 14th when he pitted. So, yeah, could be damage limitation this for Sebastian today.
Yeah.
After what was a very strong qualifying, and Valtteri has made a move on Ricardo, who has not stopped, and there's a yellow flag out.
Is it Vettel?
Not Vettel again, is it? Fourth mistake, and he's going to go in the grab again and spin it.
Into the path of a Pedersen. Not quite.
Bloody hell. This has easily been Vettel's bogey race of the season, has to be said.
Absolutely.
And race leader Nico Rosberg and second placed Alonso are due in the pits this lap.
Yep, and into the pits comes Lewis Hamilton, so that'll promote Sainz up to third. I did notice that Sainz had taken about a second a lead out of Rosberg in the lead up to Rosberg's pit stop. So I think Sainz is definitely going to be in the lead. I think Magnussen might retain second, but with a different car in front of him.
Oh, was an engine. That's Plectrum's engine's gone.
Ah, it's a shame, and especially on mode 1 as well. That's quite worrying. I was entertained by Charlotte Plectrum in the previous race at Hockenheim. It kind of reminded me, if we're using a real-life F1 race as an example, Pedro Della Rosa at Bahrain. They're all over the place, but quick when it mattered.
Yeah, I know exactly which race you're on about.
That was Bahrain when he substituted for Montoya.
Yeah, trying too hard at tennis.
It was actually a motocross accident in the end.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he said it on the Beyond the Grid podcast. He said, so Tom Clarkson asked, so what actually happened? Oh, it was a motocross accident.
Okay, I did not know that. I genuinely thought it was some tennis incident.
Yeah, I think
Rosberg will stay.
Yeah, I think he made that up just so he wouldn't upset Ron Dennis.
Well, that was a long stop for Alonso, and he's going to rejoin. He's lost quite a few places, Alonso, actually. He's down in 8th.
Is that 9th behind Hamilton?
Well, 9th, yeah, bloody hell. There's no chance that you don't think he might be on a 2-stop, do you?
I don't think so. Was he held up at any point, or was it just a bit of a long stop? I did notice Massa had a long stop, as there's Sainz in the lead.
It was
Sainz
off wide here,
and is that Magnussen taking the lead?
It is, yeah. I can spot a big grin all the way from Somerset.
Yeah, because Kevin Magnussen's in a lead again.
Oh, something's happened to Gonzalez. He's dropped down. Has he got a problem, or he's made a mistake? A
slight mistake, and
how did he survive that? Jesus Christ! That's strong suspension.
Yeah, he had strong suspension last season, or the season before that in 2013 as well, because there was a lot of offs and
don't collide, guys.
No collision just yet, but Alonso moving up to 8th. Phew.
I've got to say, Vettel down in 19th, my guy's just 8th and 9th. I have to be critical here. If my team is going to win both championships, we need to be making hay while the sun shines. The two GRMs are going on side by side, and Bottas has got past Sainz, who has been struggling of late.
Just a little bit, Sainz was the first out of the two GRMs to pit as Hamilton takes 6th position off of Nico Hülkenberg at the same point. Bottas has won this race before. He took GRM's first ever win in 2013. Yeah,
that's right. That was a chaotic race, I remember. It was a wet race.
I was in the wet and I had an absolute omni-shambles that race. Just... I don't want to talk about that.
Grosjean's going to go off. He's definitely... Oh, my word. That's a huge crash. It's allowed... hope he's okay after that, but it's allowed Sebastian through. Free position.
So not a good 100th race for Pedersen, or not a good 501st race for Pedersen, and not a good 100th race for Grosjean and Perez. The names are similar.
Yeah, I was just saying earlier about...
Alonso up to 7th.
It's not a good race at all for these teams and drivers with these milestones, is it?
No, but Hulkenberg is remaining in 8th at the moment, so it's not all doom and gloom for the Centennials.
I'm on board with Bottas here, chasing down Magnussen. Lap 27 out of 76. Still a very long way to go.
That's wide.
He's going to go wide. Is he going to hit the wall? Not quite. Just about stops it. Is he going to rejoin in a dangerous manner?
Oh, good grief!
Bloody hell! Do you know what? I was fearing the worst there. Like, just the timing and all. Bloody hell! I'd have been fuming if Alonso got taken out there.
Yeah, my heart rate went up a bit as well after that. Okay, so let's take a bit of stock because Kevin Magnussen leads the race on lap 28. Oh, actually, let's see Massa taking 3rd position off of the struggling Sainz. I think his tyres are off.
Very, very, very much struggling this stint is Sainz.
So Magnussen 3.9 seconds ahead of Rosberg. That gap is coming down, so Rosberg has got the fresher tyres and the quicker car at this point. Massa now 3rd ahead of Sainz 4th. Hamilton having a good race up in 5th ahead of Alonso, Bottas and Gonzalez completing the top 8. So Gonzalez has retaken Hulkenberg somewhere. As Sainz goes through the chicane with Hamilton and Alonso right up his chuff.
This is a very topsy-turvy race, isn't it? So many mistakes we're seeing from the drivers.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, we're going to have a little counter on the right-hand side. And that's Sainz getting a bit weavy under braking to try and defend his position from Lewis Hamilton. Now it's becoming a 5-car train. Something ugly is going to happen, I reckon.
I hope not, because both my guys are in this train, so it just doubles the chances of my team being affected here.
Well, let's hope for your sake that something ugly doesn't happen to Alonso or Gonzalez. Rosberg took 1.2 seconds out of Kevin Magnussen on that last lap, so Rosberg's on the move. I think K-Mag's time at the front might be coming to an end slightly soon, but... touching multiple pieces of wood. That was a lock-up from Hamilton going into turn number 8. But no such problems at turn 10 between those 5 drivers. I can hear Tobias breathing very heavily. He's a bit nervous. And
Alonso was going defensive there on Bottas, I noticed. I don't think he's going to be close enough to do anything about Hamilton. It might be a case where Hamilton will have to get past Sainz first before Alonso can.
And he's trying to have a look at the inside, and it's a bit tight, but Hamilton's got him. Hamilton's taken 4th position off of Carlos Sainz, and now we're going to see some lap times.
And Gonzalez has got past Bottas as well and all that.
Well spotted there, and Tornado's now running 6th and 7th, bottled up behind Sainz, and look at Hamilton rocketing away.
Yes, Sainz is the cork in the bottle here.
Absolutely, and there's a battle up at the front because there is Magnussen and Rosberg.
That's got close very suddenly.
Very suddenly. I think Rosberg's tyres are just in that better condition. It was one of the latest of the first stops. And there's a lock.
Sainz, I think he might just have a bit too much straight line speed to get past there.
Yeah, but not enough tyre grip to keep up.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Each lap that goes by and my guys can't get past.
Quite a spectacular queue now because we've got Sainz, we've got Alonso, Gonzalez, Bottas, we've also got Hulkenberg, we've also got Reichmann and Jean-Eric Vergne, who curiously has made 2 stops so far. I think one of them was a front wing problem. So
yeah, I was going to say, where's he come from? 2 stops already and he's 11th.
Rounding turn 10.
I think Sainz is going to go wide there, is he? No, not quite. It looked like the trajectory he was going to go wide. Unfortunately, he didn't.
Not
and
quite.
We go back to the battle for the lead. Rosberg is very close here. If he gets a good exit, which he has done, he's going to get alongside I think he's going to get Magnussen here fairly straightforwardly, actually.
Magnussen not fighting that one too hard, so that was slightly inevitable, but let's see what happens in the next round of stops.
Come on. Oh, it's frustrating, that.
That Mugen donkey is quite powerful.
Surely Alonso can with the more grip, obviously having more grip, be able to outbrake Sainz there.
And Ricardo's joined into this battle as well, so it's now an 8-car train.
Tell you what, at this rate, Vettel's going to be on the back of this queue.
Probably, yeah. How many more laps of fuel does Sainz have? I think he's got about 5 more laps of fuel before making his second stop. So this could help Alonso, and look at that, getting aggressive.
Oh,
that was a lock-up.
Right, try again.
Take 12 down the main straight.
Oh, no, that's not looking good.
Yeah, Sainz is super, super aggressive on the defence as Ricardo is going to take Verne for 11th position going into the first corner. And we just saw a brief glimpse of Yoshida.
That's interesting that obviously Ricardo getting past Verne, that's a climax on a Mugen, but yet Alonso can't get past Sainz with the same engines, respectively.
Yeah, Sainz is just that's aggressive. And look, Ricardo's at it again. That's past Kimi Räikkönen for 10th position. So Ricardo now on the move. And Yoshida's going to make this a 9-car train.
Bloody hell. Oh, something's happened to Sainz because he's down in 12th.
We're about to see it.
He's going to make a mistake? Yes, he is.
There it is. Sainz has bottled under the pressure.
Well, it would have been nicer if Alonso... And Hülkenberg's off as well. So the two cars have gone off at the same time, I think, yeah.
Yeah, curiously, in the last race, Hülkenberg went off and Perez followed sympathy. This time around, Sainz has gone off and Hülkenberg's followed in sympathy. As Hamilton's taken third.
He likes to go for, compete for who can build the best sandcastle, I think. He sees one car off in the gravel and he feels compelled to go and join that driver so they're not alone. Oh, Hamilton's alongside Magnussen here, and he's going to make the move for second.
Yes, so Hamilton's now on the move, but Rosberg scampered off into the distance. And Massa's taken Magnussen as well.
Has he?
Somewhere, yes, I think.
Oh, yes, he has. Yeah, I see in the bottom there. Magnussen's tyres perhaps wearing out.
Tyres, and it looks he might well have made a mistake. There it is. That's an engine failure. That explains that.
Bit more than tyres now.
Well, that's mode 1 for you.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I remember you said you used mode 3 last time out. You didn't have any reliability problems, and now you've turned it back down. Boom, yeah. You'd think it'd be the other way round. How's that worked? Look at the draw, I suppose. Oh well, it's fun while it lasted. Well, I was going to say, here's Hamilton. He's during the pits this lap. Where's he going to rejoin? I think he's going to rejoin probably in that gaggle of cars behind Gonzalez. Yeah, should rejoin ahead of Gonzalez if it's about 22, 23 seconds. It'd be nip and tuck, actually. Yeah. But he's pitting first out of him and Rosberg, and interestingly enough, Hamilton had been catching up to the Willows in this stint. I think there's this. I think the way it works in Grand Prix 4 is that. I think in a driver's range, I think it gets reset when they make a pit stop. So, it could well be that Hamilton was performing at the top end of his range that pit stop, and who knows how he will perform in this stint. But he's fourth at the moment. Is he going to be ahead of Gonzalez here? I think he is. He is ahead of Gonzalez. That just goes to show how much time my guy's lost stuck behind Sainz. Sainz, who, by the way, is now down in 13th position, as Itsuki Yoshida is in 10th position, as Rosberg is into the pits this lap. Now, this is going to be very, very close between himself and Lewis Hamilton. The gap is 22.3 seconds. Let's see what happens. I have to add that Hamilton is caught up to the back of Alonso, so it just goes to show the fresher tyres are so much faster. Absolutely, yes. But will Hamilton being stuck behind Alonso help Rosberg maintain a net lead of the race? That is the question. It depends how much time Hamilton's losing stuck behind Alonso, and how quick this pit stop is. 6.6. Can you remember how quick the X-Elite stop was?
That was about 4.9 between the X-Elite and Hamilton.
Oh, I think he's gone past. I think that was Hamilton going past. Yes, it was. Still stuck behind Alonso. And yeah, Hamilton's made the undercut work.
So Hamilton...
As Gonzalez pits.
So Hamilton now in net lead of the race once he clears said tornado of Fernando Alonso. But there's Rosberg immediately up to the back of Hamilton, so we're going to see a bit of a dogfight between these two.
I think Alonso will be due in the pits any lap now, maybe even this lap.
But he's choosing to defend, so he's not going to give this lead up easily. Rounding the back of the corners.
I think honestly, I'll take a podium at this point. I think in terms of going for the win, I think my guy.
Oh, Rosberg!
Rosberg's gone off. He's in the barrier. He's knocked the wheel off. That settles that then.
Behind the dirty air and on a slippery circuit, Rosberg has, well, I think in the words of Whiteley, Bottleberged.
Cold tyres, perhaps.
Perhaps, yes. Yeah.
That was his outlap, and he's pushed too hard and slammed into the wall.
It's a silly error there from Rosberg, but again, cold tyres could have been a factor. So that's put Hamilton... Well, now Alonso's into the pit. So Hamilton now into the lead of the race on X-Elite's 300th race. I kind of wish he was here now, but oh well.
Yes, he's missing out here at the moment. I'll tell you what, the scenes if Lewis can maintain this and convert. And you were offering, you were trying to get Whiteley to get on the commentary for this race as well. So
I was, yes.
I don't think he'll live that down.
Give it a few more laps when Hamilton crashes, and then that decision will be vindicated.
So we've got Alonso, who's rejoined out in third on his own. Gonzalez fourth. Well, no, Gonzalez has got ahead of Alonso now. What's that all about?
What's happened here? So what we're looking at here, that is a Meister getting ahead of Hülkenberg. Would have been...
Oh, this is going to be why he's going to go off, and he's going to do... Oh,
slight nudge.
He's kept it more fortunate. And I also want to point out, I'm not sure, was that the outlap? Was that Alonso's outlap? Or if it is, what a coincidence.
Who have we got? We've got a Gajira versus Yoshida going into the first corner. That's Verne versus Yoshida for 6th position. So Verne's had a good comeback drive.
On board with Lewis here. Oh, is he going to make a mistake? He is going to make a mistake. And
Whoa.
Is he going to spin? Yes, he is. He's going to face the wrong way. This could well give the lead to Massa. Is he going to get it going? He's going to hit the wall, trying to recover. Now he's reversing back onto the circuit. Where is Massa? And Hamilton's stuck.
And there goes Massa.
Still, wow.
Unforced error for Lewis Hamilton. So there's the vindication of not having Whiteley in the comms box, as Yoshida is under pressure from Daniel Ricciardo. Very under pressure because he's off the track and rejoins out of harm's way.
To be honest, like at this rate, this could be an absolute lottery who wins this, because the number of mistakes the drivers are making are wow. Massa, we're on board with here. Is he going to go off as well? No. I always get suspicious when we cut to a driver at a certain point and then not during the pits.
Courtney's exactly the same. So Felipe Massa now leading the race, 4.5 seconds ahead of Hamilton, who is slowly starting to catch up to Massa once again. Gonzalez third with Alonso fourth, and this battle for 6th position between Ricciardo and Verne. Round the outside goes Daniel Ricciardo on the hard tyres, interestingly enough.
He's been a bit hesitant there.
Yeah.
Sort of like it's like, no, after you, and he's lock up here. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity for Ricciardo to get past there.
Definitely, but he still maintains 7th and is at least still in the race, unlike quite a few people.
He's going to try again here.
At the inside at turn 1, and he's got the overlap.
I think he's made it stick. Yeah, he's made it stick this time.
So Ricciardo having a good race from 20th on the grid. And here's Verne versus Raikkonen through turn 9. Here's the slippery turn 10.
Verne going to make a mistake. He is, I think, going to go wide. Yeah, that surely will allow Reichmann through.
And not quite Hülkenberg, and behind that, that's Yoshida.
On board with his teammate now. Vettel is going to go off again for the 5th time. Only a minor one this time.
Yeah, and it's been so long, I've forgotten that Vettel's actually had 4 incidents already.
Oh no, 2 guys are close again.
And Massa extending the lead over Hamilton.
Please keep it clean. No!
Oh, it's not clean! There's a spinning Alonso.
Idiots.
And there's Gonzalez off as well.
Gonzalez has gone off as well. For God's sake, guys. I said keep it clean.
Your commentator's cursed yourself then.
Oh my God, that's so frustrating. Sorry. That's a Toto thump there.
Yeah, I could hear that,
For fuck's sake. Sorry, pardon my French.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, it wasn't race ending, but it's gifted a podium away to Bottas, who had decent pace behind.
And to compound the woes, here comes Vettel on the move, although it is only for 11th.
But bloody hell, even the race that Vettel's been having, he kept that clean with Van Dorn, it must be. And that's only for 11th place, for God's sake. Oh, that's frustrating.
2 drivers beginning with the letter R are about to go into battle for 6th position. Ricardo versus Reichmann. It's a bit weavy there. There's Hamilton,
who's running in 2nd. This is a replay. He's gone off, I think, because he's down in 5th on the timing board. And he's going to go off big time here and spin.
That was off in both directions. Where's Bottas? Is that Bottas? There's Bottas. Up to 2nd position goes the GRM.
He's down in 5th, according to the timing on the left.
Waiting for Gonzalez to go through, and now Hamilton decides that is the moment to rejoin. So another mistake for Hamilton.
Well, he's not the first, and he certainly won't be the last to make a mistake.
And Ricardo and Reichmann continuing their spirited battle for 6th position. Who's going to take the advantage going into 3? It looks like Ricardo for now.
Climax v climax.
Oh, Reichmann trying to go on the outside of 4, but Ricardo shutting the door.
I kind of don't want these two to take each other out either, because obviously, they have the same engine, and would not be ideal to lose some development points at this stage.
Absolutely. I mean, just checking the order at the moment, I think all Climax cars are still running.
No, you just jinxed it now.
I might well have done.
I'm afraid to say those sort of statements midway through a race.
Never mind, could be worse. There's no Judds running.
That is true. And Mode 1 as well.
And Mode 1, yes. Still, Magnussen's race was entertaining.
Assuming what you say is true.
As Reichmann once again...
There's a long silence.
I thought you were going to continue your statement there, but anyway. Reichmann versus Ricardo for 6th position once again.
Still side by side. This is going to allow the likes of Verne and Hülkenberg to catch up at this rate, and the amount of time they're side by side. Come on, guys, work it out between you.
Raikkonen on the outside of 4. Has he got him this time? Yes, he has. Kimi Raikkonen finally moves up to 6th position.
My word, they were side by side for so long.
For quite a while there. So, Raikkonen's 6th. His teammate is in the lead, and the last time Massa won a race was... Oh, there's a battle between Yoshida and Stoffel Vandoorne for 11th position.
Vettel must have got past his teammate because he's now 10th, and he's just on the cusp of getting into the points, actually. I'll tell you what, if somehow Vettel out and race leader Massa is in, I'll tell you what, if somehow Vettel, if my guys bottle it and Vettel ends up outscoring both my drivers, I'll be livid. It'd be such a wasted opportunity.
Nice clean stop.
Just 18 laps to go. Comfortably, that should get Felipe to the end. Where's he going to rejoin? He's going to be in 2nd, I think. Ahead of Bottas. No, Bottas is pitted, hasn't he?
So it's 2nd, but it's Hamilton now in 3rd, but yet to make his final stop. I think Raikkonen's due in the pits on the following lap, as Bottas is going to make a move on... Who on earth is that? Daniel Ricciardo for 4th position. Bottas has stopped Raikkonen... Ricciardo hasn't, and neither has Raikkonen. Into the pits comes Hamilton.
I was saying about how Whiteley's been missing out here. I think I might have jinxed that myself, because very shortly after that, Lewis had a big off. I had 2 offs, actually.
Yes, 2 offs.
I can't keep up.
He had one off at turn 9 and then another one at turn number, was it 4? Yeah, it was 4. 4 and 5. As into the pits comes one of the Tornadoes. Is that Alonso or Gonzalez?
I hope it's Alonso, because Gonzalez has already done his 3rd stop.
Indeed, it is Alonso. So he should rejoin 3rd, I think.
I just want to get both cars at the end now. With the amount of spins and crashes that there have been, I'd bank now if it was possible.
Red flag, not quite. As Bottas goes through...
I think he's going to go off here. He's going to go off big time. Is he going to damage his car? Yes, he is. He's out of the race. Is Valtteri Bottas from 2nd position. And there's a loose wheel leg. Be careful, Gonzalez. He's hit it. He's hit the wheel.
And he got away with it. And Hamilton was having his own off in the background as well.
Bloody hell.
So here's his careless mistake from Valtteri Bottas. Way too fast into 11.
Yeah. I knew that wheel... when it came off, I just knew that somehow one of my guys would hit it.
And this is Hamilton having his own off at the exit.
He's going to spin as well. Oh, bloody hell! This has not been as a whole, as a grid. This hasn't been the driver's best day, has it? Oh, Alonso's going to go off here. It's just a minor mistake. Cool it down. Cool it down.
There's the team radio from Tobias to Alonso. Through the chicane, here's Vern.
And I think he's going to gift another point to Sebastian here. He's going to spin into the path. Where is Vettel going to avoid it? No, he hasn't. He's lost his front wing. Vern doesn't have any damage, but Sebastian Vettel's race just goes from bad to worse.
Incident number 6, except this time it wasn't his fault at all. Just nowhere to go.
Well, I feel like he had a little bit of time to react and maybe, go on. If he could have maybe put 2 wheels on the grass to just to get round on it to the right. But disastrous race for Sebastian.
Very unfortunate incident indeed. So that will elevate Stoffel Vandoorne to 7th and Nico Hulkenberg up to 8th position. Mitchell could use for some points, so that will do their championship a bit of good.
And this is Hamilton on the back of Ricardo for 5th position.
Just to finish an earlier statement about Felipe Massa, his last win was in...
Oh, it's going to be...
Not quite contact. Massa's last win was Nürburgring 2011. That was with Guy Racing. And he's only had 3 career wins as well. Wow.
I think I do remember him.
Hulkenberg!
That's a climax gone. There goes that. Jinx with all the climaxes getting to the end.
But with it being just 5 laps to go, well, now 2 laps to go, it shouldn't hamper development too much. So everyone who started their 100th race hasn't made the race end. So pretty awful centennial for all 3.
Yes, absolutely. I think Vettel could still... He's going to have to get a move on past his teammate. Team orders. This is Massa we're on board with. He started his last lap. Alonso has been closing in on him, but from what I've seen this race, Massa has not made any mistakes whatsoever, and he's kept it on the island, I think, 24/7.
Virtually faultless, and from 9th on the grid as well.
Super clean, and both my drivers have made a mistake here or there, one of which... Of course, they collided themselves, and had that not have happened, I think maybe Alonso could have, unless Massa goes off now, could have done something about that. So it kind of just adds to the frustration, if you like, of that collision. But certainly nowhere near as bad as Guy Racing's calamity in 2008 Hockenheim, where they both retired spectacularly. And of course, this is going to be Meister's first ever win. And I have to say, a long time coming, because they've had a lot of pole positions. And just to add to it, on the track that is, massively favoured for the soft tyre, on the hardest tyre available, which is going to add to it.
Well, first win in this particular format. They have had a couple in Classic, but across the line to take the first win of this format, Felipe Massa takes Meister's first ever win.
That's well deserved, that.
Definitely, and in their first proper season as well. So there's confirmation, 4th career win for Felipe Massa. He'll be chuffed with that.
Yeah, but like I said, very, very well deserved. Long time coming, both for Massa and Meister.
Yeah, congrats, Laura Chung.
This race, although there wasn't any rain, it does remind me of the 2013 race where it was just so many incidents, so many trips off into the gravel and crashes, and it was just, and the eventual winner, it came down to who was the cleanest.
And the cleanest was Massa.
Whoever made the fewest mistakes, and that's exactly what we saw today. But I'll happily take a second and third.
Alonso 2nd, Gonzalez 3rd. We've got Kimi Raikkonen 4th, so a great race for Meister. And Ricardo takes some points for Andrew Racing, so that was a good effort. And there's confirmation of the retirement. 2 engines gone for FJR, and another one gone for Hulkenberg and for Perez. And the rest, well, that's their own fault.
I've got nothing to add to that. I think Massa might well have been the only driver that I can confirm that had a clean race. I think everyone else had problems at some stage.
Yeah, and up until his engine failure, Magnussen's was very clean as well, so yeah, that's unfortunate.
Anyway, on to the championship, the drivers, and Alonso extends his lead to 19 points, thanks to an absolutely shambolic, I have to say, without sounding too biased, display from Sebastian.
6 separate incidents. That beats Massa's record of real-life Silverstone 2008.
Or Bottas's from Turkey 2020.
Yeah. And Gonzalez sits another 19 points behind Sebastian Vettel. And the constructors, well, look at that 49-point lead between yourself and Meister, moving up to 2nd with Massa's win and Raikkonen's 4th.
Bloody hell. Yeah, because Raikkonen finished 4th as well. So yeah, big haul of points, not just from the win for Massa, but Raikkonen as well up there. That really took me by surprise, that.
Absolutely, and Shake and Make down to 3rd, still on 69 points. And the battle for last hotting up as well between FJR, Pedersen, Mitchell and Exelite, just 2 points separating those 4 teams. So that was the Hungarian Grand Prix, and we'll be moving on to Austria for the Austrian Grand Prix. Surprise, surprise. And it'll be the Red Bull Ring. So from the two of us, we shall see you then.
Cheerio.